Imagine spending your entire life in a dark cave, facing a wall. Behind you, a fire burns. Between you and the fire, people carry objects that cast shadows on the wall in front of you. Those shadows are all you've ever known. They're your reality, your truth, your entire world. This is Plato's cave. And the uncomfortable part? You might be living in it right now. Over 2,000 years ago, Plato told this story in the Republic. It's become one of the most powerful metaphors in Western philosophy. And today, in the age of screens and algorithms, it's more relevant than ever. Let's break down what Plato was really saying and why it matters to you. In the Allegory, prisoners are chained in a cave from childhood. Forced to look at a wall where shadows flicker. They can't turn their heads. They can't see the fire or the objects creating the shadows. They don't even know those things exist. For the prisoners, the shadows are reality. They give them names. They develop expertise in predicting shadow patterns. They argue about shadow interpretations. But they're looking at illusions. Second-hand images of images. Then Plato asks, what if one prisoner breaks free? First, they turn around. This movement, this turning of the head, Plato calls periagoge or peripereia. It's a reorientation, a shift in perspective, and it's painful. The fire hurts their eyes. The real objects confuse them. Everything they thought they knew gets called into question. But if they keep going, if they climb out of the cave into sunlight, they begin to see reality as it truly is. Not shadows, not reflections, but the actual forms, lit by the sun itself. This is Plato's theory of knowledge. The ascent from illusion to truth. He maps it in stages. First, images and reflections, what he calls icons. Then physical objects, the things themselves. Then mathematical objects, abstract truths. And finally, the forms or ideas. The ultimate reality that everything else participates in. The sun in the allegory represents the form of the good, the highest truth that illuminates all other truths. But here's the crucial part: this ascent isn't automatic. It requires training, discipline, the courage to look away from what's comfortable. Truth, for Plato, isn't something you stumble into. It's something you climb toward, step by painful step. Now let's bring this into the present. What's your cave? What's your wall? For most of us, it's a screen. Our phones, our feeds, our algorithmically curated reality. We scroll through shadows, images of images. Second-hand interpretations of events we never witnessed directly. The algorithm learns what keeps us engaged and shows us more of it. We think we're informed. We think we're seeing reality. But we're seeing a projection designed to hold our attention. The shadows on our wall aren't random. They're optimized. And we've become experts at analyzing them, sharing them, arguing about them. But how often do we turn around? How often do we ask what's creating the shadows? Plato's concept of peripereia, the turning, requires something. We're losing the willingness to be uncomfortable. Turning away from the familiar screen, the familiar opinions, the familiar sources. It hurts. It's disorienting. It challenges everything we've built our identity around. But that's where the ascent begins. And here's where Plato gets even more demanding. He doesn't let the freed prisoner stay outside the cave, enjoying enlightenment alone. They have a responsibility to go back down, to help the others, to explain what they've seen. This is the political and ethical dimension of the allegory. Knowledge creates obligation. If you've seen beyond the shadows, you can't just enjoy your clarity in private. You have to return to the cave and try to free others. Even though they might not believe you. Even though they might think you've gone crazy. Even though they might attack you for disturbing their comfortable illusions. Plato knew this wasn't easy. In the allegory, he suggests that the cave dwellers might even kill someone who tries to free them. But the responsibility remains. Truth demands sharing. So how do we practice this? How do we escape our modern cave? Start by identifying your wall. What screen do you face most? What feed do you trust without question? What source do you return to reflexively? That's your wall. Those are your shadows. Then ask, what shadow data is it showing you? What's being amplified? What's being filtered out? Who's carrying the objects behind you, deciding what you see? This isn't about paranoia. It's about awareness. Recognizing that your reality is mediated, curated, constructed. Next, practice what I call training toward the light. Pick one discipline that moves you closer to primary sources, to direct experience, to reality beyond the shadows. Maybe it's reading a long-form article instead of just the headline. Maybe it's checking the original study instead of the tweet about the study. Maybe it's watching a full speech instead of the edited clip. Maybe it's seeking out a perspective that challenges yours. Not to win an argument, but to see from a different angle. These are small acts of peripereia, small turnings of the head. And they're harder than they sound. Because our attention economy is designed to keep us facing the wall. Finally, practice the descent. When you discover something true, something important, something that challenges the shadows, share it. Not with arrogance, not with superiority, but with the humility of someone who knows how hard it is to turn around. One sentence, one conversation, one act of intellectual honesty. That might help someone else begin their own ascent. Before we end, 3 questions for you. I really encourage you to sit with these over the next few days. Question 1. What is the wall you face most often? What screen? What feed? What source do you spend the most time with? And what shadow data is it projecting? Question 2. What's one act of training toward the light you could do today? Reading something long and difficult? Checking a primary source? Engaging with an opposing viewpoint? Question 3. If you've seen something beyond the shadows, what's one sentence you could share with your community? How could you help someone else begin their own turning? Plato's cave isn't just ancient philosophy. It's a challenge to recognize our chains, to endure the pain of turning, to climb toward truth, and to return with what we've learned. The cave is comfortable. The shadows are familiar, but they're not real. And somewhere in you, you already know that. The question is, are you willing to turn your head? Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments. What's your wall, and what's one step you'll take toward the light?